Kenny.
You just go back with her. You just like...
Kenny. Hey guys, it's Rianne, and today I'm going to be doing a video all about sorority recruitment. As most of you guys know, I joined a sorority at my current university, and it was seriously one of the best decisions that I've made since I've been here. It's a great way to make a bunch of new friends and find people with similar interests as you, and also a great way to network and get internships. It's all in all just such a fun situation. There's also, like, they do mixers with fraternities, and so you get to be really social, and it's honestly such a blast. And I was sort of on the fence when I first came to school here about whether or not I was going to rush a sorority, and I am so glad that I did. My first piece of advice for you is not part of the 5, but it's just kind of like a general rule. Even if you don't think sorority life is for you, I highly recommend that you just go ahead and rush, because you could be so pleasantly surprised. And of course, like, if you do it, you can try it out, and if you don't like it, you never have to continue with it. But you never really want to, like, look at sororities and people having so much fun and doing philanthropy and think, oh, what if? I think it's always better to just try something and see if you like it. My first tip is not to go into recruitment with any preconceived notions. If I was you guys, I would stay away from going online and looking up sororities and their stereotypes or anything like that. It's really just a negative way to get turned off from houses that you might actually really like. I personally went into it without any preconceived notions, and I think that that was the best thing that I could do. A lot of those things that are written online are usually wrong anyway, and it's usually just 1 or 2 people's opinions, and you don't want to pick a sorority based on someone else's opinion. You want to base it solely on your own. It's also good to remember that if a house has a reputation of being a top house, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the best experience. So I would stay away from picking a house based on it being a top house or a high house. I'd say just pick the one that you feel like you fit in the best with. I rushed with 2 of my friends, and unfortunately, as we were going through sorority recruitment, they decided to opt for houses that were higher ranked over houses that were sort of a better fit for them, even though they really told me later that they did feel like they fit in better at the other houses. And they both really regretted it because they didn't really get to have the experience that they could have had because they were basing it off of other people's judgments of the house. So make sure you don't listen to what anyone else says and just go through recruitment and go from your gut. It's really important to just go in and see who you mesh with, because you don't want to lose sight of what sororities are really about, which is finding a group of friends that you fit in with and you feel comfortable around and that you'll want to be friends with for the rest of your life. As cheesy as that sounds, it's literally so real. The second piece of advice that I have is to just be yourself. I can't tell you how important it is to make sure that you don't try to put on any airs or be someone that you're not. The sororities want you for you, and it's super important to just be yourself and just be confident that whoever you are, you will end up in the best place for you. The third big tip that I want to give you guys is to avoid the 4 Bs. You don't want to talk about boys, booze, bucks, or the Bible. You don't want to talk about boys because you're here to find your sisters and you really want to focus on that. However, talking about your big crush on Bradley Cooper is A-okay. The second thing is booze. You don't want to come off as a person who's only joining a sorority for the party scene, but it's definitely okay if you're someone who doesn't partake in drinking to be sure that there are people who are not drinking in the house that you're talking to. I know in my sorority there are a pretty substantial amount of girls who don't drink, and not drinking in our house is totally okay and normal, and everyone still wants to hang out with you. So don't worry, if you don't want to drink, you definitely don't have to. The next thing is Bible. It's really just not an appropriate time to talk about your belief system or anything like that. Of course, you can always find out if there's a Bible study or other girls of your religion in your house, but really that's not something that comes up very often in our sorority, and it's just not really the right time to talk about things like that. It's not a good idea to talk about bucks and flaunt all of your material possessions, because you do want your sorority sisters to love you for you, which I'm sure they will. But it is okay to ask how much a sorority will cost, because you do need to budget for that. And that's totally normal, and I want you to feel free to ask, because that is something that the sorority is supposed to tell you and will tell you willingly. My fourth tip for you is to be confident, even if you have to fake it, because I know recruitment can be super intimidating because there's so many girls in a very small amount of time, and it can be really hard. But don't worry, just sit up straight and be ladylike and let your winning personality shine through. And I know that they will love every single one of you, because I know I do. My fifth tip for you guys is to just have fun. You're gonna have so many conversations, and don't overthink it. Just be yourself and have fun and try to be as confident as you can, even if you have to fake it. And I promise Rush will be a smooth sailing journey for all of you. The last tip is a bonus tip that I want to give you guys, and this was a really important way that I chose the sorority that I'm in, and I honestly am 100% confident that I am in the right house. I have met some friends that I know I will have forever. They're gonna be my bridesmaids. Woo woo! They're sitting right there watching me. But the way that you want to choose a house, especially if you're like me, and I was torn between 2 or 3 houses when it got to be preference round, which is when you'll pick 2 different houses. And for me, it was really difficult to pick between those 3, but there was a Rho Gamma, and at some schools there are Gamma Chis or Rho Chis. Basically, they're just the people who are helping you go through sorority recruitment. She said to me, okay, so if you were sick, in sweats, just feeling gross, looking gross, and you just wanted to curl up on the couch with a blanket in the sorority house, which sorority would it be that you would feel the most comfortable? And that is really just such an important thing to think about, because you don't want to be in a sorority where you feel like you can't be at your lowest, because you want to be around sisters that'll be there to support you no matter what happens. If you go through a huge breakup, or if you get an F on a test, or if your life just seems like it's coming down all around you, you want to be in a sorority where you feel like the people around you are going to care about you. And so when I answered that question, it became so clear to me which sorority I should be in, and I am so incredibly happy with my decision. I absolutely love my sorority. I'm actually speaking to you now from my sorority house, so yes, definitely ask yourself that question when you're going through Rush, and I promise you, you will end up in the right house. There will also be a sorority recruitment outfit video that I'll be doing. I'm just waiting for the clothes to come in from the internet to my sorority house. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Good luck to all of you going through sorority recruitment, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, guys!